At least at the organizations where I've worked, promotions tended to result in slight cost of living increases alongside a minimal raise rather than significant pay increases. And this just depends on the health of your company, right? Or, is your company known for giving big raises to internal employees, or, are you trending towards more profitability so people are getting better raises, or are you guys just kind of humming along and, you're thinking about all, couple hundred of your employees. And if you give one person a big increase, you've got to give another person a big increase. So it just kind of multiplies itself. There's other factors to consider when negotiating salary, and that's the economic climate. In times of economic retraction, companies may have less revenue or business, even as the cost of goods increase. The combination result in a declining profit margins, which lead to less room for paying higher salaries. As businesses retract due to inflation, in other words, it will have a direct impact on the salary you can negotiate. With that in mind, let's dive into some ways you can negotiate the best possible salary. So what does that mean, right? So let's just say, for example, I'm running a company and I buy circuit cards for $50. And, we all saw what happened during COVID, right? Manufacturing organizations were shutting down around the world and supply chain took a big hit. So what happened? It was harder to get parts in order to build your material to ship your product out the door. Well, what happens when that happens? Organizations try to get smart, right? Okay, instead of buying 5, I need to buy 10 because lead times are longer. And, I don't want to take the risk of running out of that product. So I need to stock my shelf in order to be able to make sure I've got what I need when it's time for me to ship something out the door. But so what happens, right? People buy more. What also happens, there's brokers that'll go out there and they'll buy a large amount of material, and then there's no material on the market. And then those brokers will turn back around and resell it for twice what that material costs. So what happens now, right? I'm managing a portfolio and my cost of my goods just doubled. So now because it doubled, that's going to eat into my bottom line, my profitability. Now, what am I going to do? I don't have that extra capital in order to pay somebody in, a higher wage because the cost of goods just went up. And that's happened to a lot of people. I've been seeing that all over the place. So that's just something to keep in mind, that sometimes employers, even as time goes on, cost of materials start to go up, but yet you don't get as much business going through. They've got to, you got to cut costs somewhere. And sometimes they may pull 5-10 grand out of a salary because they're accounting for, cost of goods going up. All right. Number 1, leverage your credentials. Let me play a quick video and then we're going to come back and talk about leveraging your credentials. So let me just go in here. And I'm going to play this quick video. You should be able to see the screen. You must. All right, you put together a stellar cover letter and resume. You nailed the interview process, and now you're about to get an offer. This is the point that you need to be prepared to discuss potential salary. Having a degree, certification, and relevant experience gives you the opportunity to demand the highest salary for the position in which you're applying. Have you ever applied for a job and they told you, sorry, you don't have a degree, we can't pay you. Sorry, you don't have a certification, we can't pay you. Sorry, you don't have the right experience, we can't pay you. Stop giving them an excuse not to pay you. When you have all of your credentials, you can start at the high end of the pay scale. In government employment, there's a term called labor category requirements. Basically, in order to qualify for certain positions and pay bands, you must meet certain labor requirements. Those requirements can be a bachelor's degree, program management professional certification, and/or 5 years of experience. If you don't meet these requirements, they're not authorized to pay you at that high rate. Whether you're going for a government job or something in the private sector, you need to check all the right boxes in order to qualify for a higher pay scale. Remember the ECE framework? This is the way to make sure that you're checking those boxes and meet the necessary qualifications. All right. All right, leverage your credentials. In my experience, having the right degree, the right certifications, and relevant experience gives you the best opportunity to negotiate the highest salary for your desired position. Can that be guaranteed? Of course not. Sometimes you have all the right credentials, but still get underpaid. But I found that when it comes to negotiating power, the more education, the more certification, the more experience you have, the better position you're in to ask for what you want.